Shall we be off then?
Alright everyone, welcome back to this crazy level 1 run through of what I would do and how I would execute it. So here we find ourselves in the Cathedral, and what we will be running at the first section here, we picked up the prayer shawl in the Howling Pit, and as this is the highest light value veil that we can have access to at this point in time with a fairly high drain attack. But the reason we need this one is because in the Cathedral everything is weak to pierce, and we need to be doing as much pierce lightning as physically possible throughout the entire Cathedral. So we'll be paired up with the Cerulean Spear. We'll also be having the Bayonet Devour when we're running Darkseeker. The reason for Darkseeker is because it has access to Sanguine Roar, and this is vital for our fight versus the successor of the Ribcage. Now, since we don't need Isis, we're not going to be picking up any of the vestiges through the Cathedral here, since we want Ribcage. Ribcage is the most important blood code that we could have access to during our time here in the Cathedral. So that is what we will be going for. And then once we are done with Darkseeker and we master Sanguine Roar, we'll be switching to Hermes, and we will be running Hermes into the Cathedral, into the successor fight, which we will have access then to Ice Spike or Frost Spike. So that will be important to have Sanguine Roar and Frost Spike, as those are blood and ice, which is what the successor is weak to, as well as physical attacks. Now we had to pick up Estrella and pick up Lightning Spike, as that is vital for adventuring here in the Cathedral, as well as we picked up Lightning Barrage in the Flood of Impurity, which was the depth map that we picked up in on the way over here to the Cathedral. But also we picked up plasma cartridges as well for extra lightning damage whenever we come in contact with it. So we'll switch to the bayonet, as this has Devour, and we'll go for lightning weapon, and here we go. There we go, and this will all be about execution, and whether or not we can actually execute on the enemy. Okay, we're out of stamina. There we go, we get a backstab, and since we have pierce damage, we should most likely kill on every enemy that we come across. Now we have an Isis Chrome now, first one that we've come across. We have one Eos Chrome and one Isis Chrome, so we could go back to Rin, and we could lightning up the Cerulean Spear, which we may have to do later on. As you see there, we have 20,000 haze, so we could easily lightning up one of our weapons. So for her here, we want to do pierce damage, so we'll go for a lightning weapon, and let's go for stun. And we need this item here, as this is a regen activation factor, and we definitely need to get some extra healing power here on our regens, and that is exactly why we picked up Lightning Barrage in the Flood of Impurity, since we have 2 active gifts now that we can perform on the enemy. It's very, very critical that we maintain those. And so now, as you see here, Sanguine Roar is leveling up nicely as we continue our way through the Cathedral here. Now, this fella up here is weak to blood or slash, but our bayonet does crush damage, so we will keep the bayonet for now. But as you see, we have pretty good damage here. Now we can absolutely skip the invasion here, as we don't need anything down this direction. But as I said, we need to be leveling up Sanguine Roar, so we're going to give it one go and then we'll continue on. So it's important that we stay out here on the bridge. Alright, there we go. And oh no, we got monkeys, so that's a horrible start, as monkeys are absolutely the worst. Oh, and we have a whole bunch of problems here with the monkeys. Okay, and let's kill this monkey. Okay, and let's give that a blast. Oh boy. I can't get this shield off of her fast enough here. Okay, now we got all kinds of people here. So let's head on down the hallway here. Okay, and let's throw a lightning spike. Okay, oh boy. So this is why we definitely don't want to be part of the invasion here, as it is just absolutely brutal. Now it would be great if we could finish that invasion, as that would help Sanguine Roar level up extremely quickly. But as you see, I mean, we take one hit and we're dead, and to kill I believe it's 10 waves of 3, so like 30 enemies, it would just be overwhelmingly difficult. Okay, so here we can go for a lightning spike and a barrage. Oh, okay. Oh. Okay, and we'll try and get a, oops. Okay, we'll get a launch then instead. And we will go for a second launch once she stands up. There we go. And we'll get as much ichor back here as we can possibly get. Okay. And we can go and fight the big lady over here in the left side if we want to, for more damage, or for more regen, or more level up on our Sanguine Roar. And as we've used one regen already, this is extremely bad, as we're going to need all the regens we can get as we go through here. So we'll go for a lightning barrage and another backstab, as we regain 5 ichor on a backstab, and lightning barrage and the lightning spike all cost 4 ichor, so we always gain at least 1 on a backstab. Okay, so here we go. We're going to be heading over here to this fella again, but since he's kind of a distance away from us here, we can take him out quickly and easily, since he definitely doesn't pose a threat of any kind. So as you can see, we have to skip the invasions here, which is absolutely the right call, since we don't stand a chance versus the invasions, and they don't do anything for us. There's no reason to go for them, and we don't need anything that the invasions offer. So we'll just continue on our way. And since we have lightning barrage and lightning spike, we have just enough power to be able to go ahead and get through here. And since all of the other people that we'll come across will be mostly one-off kind of attacks here, we don't really need to worry about any kind of problems here. Okay. So let's go for a lightning spike, and she's going to do that, and we can get a parry on her, as that will help us get ichor back, as well as take her down pretty quickly and easily there. Now see, we get about 2,000 haze per one of these enemies here, which is horrible amount of haze that we get from these people, and in New Game Plus, you're getting about 15,000, so it's almost a 10 times multiplier between the two difficulty levels. So if you're looking for, a way to get lots of haze, then that is a really, really good way to go about it. Okay, we'll go for a lightning barrage and another backstab. So the reason I'm okay going for attempts on parries here is because if we miss, it's not quite a one-shot. We still maintain some level of ability here to put damage on these people. So I'm not opposed to completely going for parries when I know that I have a chance of actually putting damage out on the enemy. Okay. Okay. Now, if we switch to the Cerulean Spear, we will have really good damage that we can put out on these ladies here. Okay, and we can also stagger, since we're doing pierce damage to them, and it's okay to switch up the weapons here, since we don't really need to shoot. But there's the Rubelite Piercer, and it's a +4. So if we look at that, it does a lot more damage than our current bayonet. So we can switch to that, or we can keep the Devour for having high Ichor regen, which is what I prefer. Since we are running a pretty heavy Ichor run here, we will need all the Ichor that we can pick up. Okay, but as you can see, if you're not running the invasion, and there's actually no reason for us to run the invasion simply because there's nothing over there. We don't need Isis, and we want to get the Ribcage blood code, as that will set us up nicely for the next set of gifts that we can pull out of Ribcage as opposed to Isis. Okay, here we go. Alright, so now coming up to this area, we won't be really having too much problem with everybody that's going to be facing us, as we can heal up here, and we can get our bearings pretty easily and quickly if we need to. There's really no reason to fear almost anything else from here on out. And the areas where we have a couple of the extra enemies where they fight in groups of 2 or 3, we still shouldn't have any issue, because we have distance gifts like Lightning Spike and Lightning Barrage. Okay, so we have a time limit on this one, so this will be definitely a 2-parter, as we have 50 minutes before my potatoes come out of the oven. So I gotta be quick little boy here, running these areas. So apologies for that, but you know, boys gotta eat. So again, thank you to everyone who continues to stick around. You all are truly truly a blessing, to say the least. Okay, and we've got some new people here, so this I'll kind of explain a little bit about what we're doing here. This playlist was a request from one of the channel originals, Megatech, and so we are going to be running a solo run here, and kind of what I would do based on, you know, what I've learned through the game here. We still got fireworks going off outside. I don't know why. It's just kind of weird. Okay, and we'll get her to come over here. So if you're wondering how to run the game and what might be some good options for you, maybe you can learn something here, and how you know, what you can do early game. And this is all of my ideas, and based on what I've kind of discovered, and I hope maybe it can help new folks with you know, kind of figuring out what do you do early game when you have no real access to a whole lot of things. Well, this is definitely what you can do. And see there, we missed the parry, and we paid for it dearly, but that's okay. And as we will be coming up here to another missile in a little bit, 3 heals should be just plenty to get us there. And we don't want any part of that lady, as she doesn't offer us anything. Okay, but this lady offers us a whole lot of backstabs and a whole lot of opportunity here to use our lightning gifts, as well as continue to load up on Ichor, and Sanguine Roar is coming along nicely here. Let's go for another backstab, and she can help us load up here very, very quickly and easily before we get into the next set. And we can pick up some vestiges, but we just don't need to restore the successor on this playthrough, as I would definitely go for Ribcage, as it has way more beneficial gifts at this point, in my opinion, based on where you're going to be going later on in the game, as opposed to where you are now. Okay, and we'll go for a lightning weapon. Okay, and we'll get her all suited up here, and she's got stagger resistance. It's not going to help her. Okay, we'll go for a lightning barrage and another backstab. So as you can see, it is pretty easy here to take on these ladies, and it really doesn't pose too much of a threat, as long as we are able to dodge almost everything. There we go, and a backstab to boot. so even better here. And since we are doing lightning damage all the time, lightning pierce specifically, and since everything in here is weak to lightning pierce except the Berserker and the successor, these two gives lightning spike if you have the pre-order with Estrella, which is exceptional, and also if you are keen enough to pick up the Flood of Impurity on the way here and understand that you need lightning damage to run the Cathedral. So as much lightning as you can pick up, the better. And as we picked up a lightning weapon from, I believe it was, Mercury, and from Coco, and Hermes was from Davis. So we picked up his blood code before coming into the Cathedral. Now, excuse me, we have to pick up this fella over here for his regen ability that he grants to us, but he is weak to ice, which we don't have any ice pierce except here in Hermes, so we can't use any of our gifts except we can poison him and we can stun him, and let's go. And we got to do backstabs, as that will be the best method of putting him down, unless we stun him. Oops. And as you see there, he definitely has some problems here with us, and we definitely need to be doing backstabs here. And as you see, that does exceptional damage to him. Okay, we'll go for an assault there, a shadow assault, and a regen extension factor, reactivation factor. So we definitely need this, as that will allow us to almost heal a complete health bar at this point, which is really, really good. Okay, so now that we are done with him, we can go back to our lightning business here. There we go. And we'll get her on the offensive here, so we can dodge and backstab effectively and easily. Okay, and we'll go for another lightning spike. Now, another thing that I would do, which I haven't done yet, is I would farm Marks of Honor to get to Cognitive Zeal, as you only need 10 Marks of Honor. So you can join 10 games, get Marks of Honor from a boss fight somewhere, get 10 Marks of Honor, and get Cognitive Zeal, as that is a very, very good gift early game. And you wouldn't think it would be, but we could be having a scaling in our willpower and mind at the moment, so it's a very, very good gift, and I would highly recommend going for it. I don't, just because I probably should, but I don't want to wait around for a whole bunch of people, but you could definitely do that, and that would be highly beneficial for a first playthrough, is to get Cognitive Zeal as soon as possible, as it will open up balance of blood codes very, very early on, and you can do it from the first area of the game with the underground with Oliver. And so I would recommend doing that at that point, because here we could have a Mind of A at the Cathedral, which would be incredible. Okay, so we've got about 60,000 haze, so that's pretty good. So we can start doing, we can start doing, whoops, I hit the wrong key. So we can start getting chromes on different weapons and such, and so that's really, really good that we have access to that at this point in the game. Okay, and we're able to continue going here with no real issues at all. Okay, so we got about 29 more minutes, it looks like. Let's see. Yeah, about 29 minutes. I'm checking my timer here. And Sanguine Roar is looking like before we get to the kind of the midway point here of the Cathedral, we should be on our way to having it, and switching over to Hermes. Okay. Now it's important here we get a backstab. There we go. As we need to continue loading up on as much Ichor as we possibly can before we get to the Berserker Fight, as he's weak to Pierce Blood, and the only Pierce Blood that we have is the Bloodshot gift, which is absolutely horrendous. Okay, so we'll push him off, get some easy kills here. Okay, and if we go for that, this fella over here creeps on up. So since we do need kills, and items are kind of useless at this point, we'll go for it. And he's going to do that, so we can run up and do a lightning barrage. Okay, and at this point, I mean, we're simply just running the default route. And if you know the default route, this is or the actual route of the Cathedral, this will help you immensely to understand what's actually the only useful bits. So we'll push him off so he doesn't get too crazy here. We'll do this missile just because it's right here and it's not really out of our way. Now there's our first anti-inhibit that we have access to, so that's nice, and we'll definitely push him off with a plunge attack, so that way we have the upper hand no matter what. So we will go ahead and equip the anti-inhibit. Where was it? There we go. Now we bought 5 of those from Coco back at home base, just in case that we get inhibited by some crazy random person. Okay, so this guy's over here, and we'll let him think he's doing something before we give him a backstab. So as you play your first run through the game of Code Vein here, it definitely has you know, some one-hit potential on the player, but it definitely affords a really good first run capability. There's never been a more important old world material, a more important understanding of every mechanic and every enemy that you come across in the game, as is apparent in a solo first run kind of a playthrough. Oops. This is you know, displaying exactly why when you're running a level 1 character where you have the lowest kind of stats possible, it's really important that you have a pretty deep understanding of all the enemies and what they afford. Oh, come on. There we go. We'll poke her away from the wall there so we can actually put her down easily here. There we go. Good. Okay, now we don't want to deal too long with these ladies, as they definitely are problematic to say the least. Okay, and we'll go for a backstab here, and as you see, pierce damage is absolutely the way to go versus every single lost that we come across. Okay, so now we're almost up on Sanguine Roar, so we will head on over here, and we will encourage this lady to hopefully help us to level up. As you see, she's facing that direction. She was waiting for us to come from the other way, but since we came around this way, you can get her from the back here at no real danger. Okay, let's go for a launch. Oh, okay. So, good enough. And no Sanguine Roar. Okay. But we can definitely use a couple of heals here, as we have access to a missile directly in the next area. So let's go ahead and head on up here, and let's encourage this fella to come over here, and we'll just kill him quickly. Good. And probably like 2 or 3 more people, and we will be getting access to Sanguine Roar for Hermes, as that is extremely important, like I said, for the successor fight. Now, since it's a dark gift, though, as you see here, we don't have exceptional dark gift on this Blood Veil, but the Queenslayer Claw has pretty good light and dark at the same time. We also have access to the Venus Claw, which is pretty good dark damage, but it's not a level 3, as these two are. This one I leveled up just to show what the Queenslayer Claw would be compared to for the other Blood Veils that we have. Okay, so here we have a missile, which is very good, so we can definitely rest here, replenish ourselves and all of the regens that we've used. And coming up here, this lady should definitely be a parry if we can. There we go. So the timing on that is pretty problematic. And if you can do it, it's definitely worth it, as you saw there. But if you don't do it, you pay severely by probably dying, if not coming extremely close to death. Okay, so again, that's kind of how it should go about. Pairing up to make sure that you know the enemies and what is strong against them. So Bloodbead Candy, and the reason we're going this way is because that big lady over there will most likely help us level up Sanguine Roar, and so does this fella down here, as he's pretty useless, and we can get some Ichor back from him before we head onwards here. Oh, I lost Barrage, okay, and there's Sanguine Roar. Okay, so now we can switch over to Hermes, and we will still be running the Cerulean Spear, and here we'll probably switch to, oh, we need a willpower of B. Okay, so probably for the successor fight we will be running Darkseeker, as it can run both light and dark, and Hermes is only light based, but we still need Frostspike, so everything here is still you know, kind of the same as what we had before. Okay, so here also though now we have access to Night Stalker, as that will help us sneak up on enemies, and we won't be detected as easily. Don't look up on the ladders. Kind of a rule now, I guess. I didn't think it was, but I guess it is. Okay. How are we doing? Okay, 20 minutes about. Okay, so we're doing real well. I don't want to burn my potatoes. I love my potato casserole. If you have a favorite food, I'd definitely be interested in what your foods are that you enjoy. Mine, I do love potatoes, and I eat all kinds of potatoes. Now, we don't want to be doing any kind of ice damage versus these ladies, as they resist ice exceptionally hard. It is their #1 resistance. I mean, it's like a 60% resistance to ice or something crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So you don't want to do ice versus these people, but these people in here that we got, not those guys, her, she takes exceptional damage to ice. Good, and we'll go for a backstab here if we can. There we go. And those fellas over there are not interested in us as of yet, so that's good. Okay, and now that we have access, to 2 spikes, we can do really good damage on all the other rest of the enemies. So having Frostspike in here is very good. Okay, and we're pulling levers and opening doors and doing all these things, which is fine and dandy. And now up here, we don't need to fight this lady, but since we need to get Frostspike as high as possible, we definitely need to fight her. And as you see, lightning and ice is very good versus her. And since we can stagger her with our pokey methods, we're definitely going to use our pokey methods to put her down. Okay, and then over here, we can hit this monkey and kill him, and get rid of him easily and effectively. Now this monkey, we'll just poke him off the edge, and we'll get more level up there on our Frostspike than we were before. Okay, and this lady is very interested in being aggressive against us, so we put her down by doing just more pierce damage. So this is the time when most of your gifts do exceptionally well, and you can really pair up if you know the weaknesses of the area, and you know when to use the timings and such of all the enemies that you're coming up against. This can be exceptionally useful. Now versus the Berserker, the best way to go about fighting him is to simply go for backstab after backstab after backstab. I know it sounds kind of cheesy and kind of ridiculous, but the fact that it actually exists in that way, we definitely are going to take advantage of that in a big way, as one hit from him will absolutely put us down and kill us in one shot. I'm almost certain of it. I haven't obviously been there yet. I haven't done it yet, but just gauging from the amount of damage that he will do to us and the defenses that we don't have, I would imagine that it's just going to be absolutely a miserable fight unless we go for backstabs, which is exactly what we're going to do. Now we need MJ 212s for a lot of our level ups and such, so we're definitely going to go be picking those up as we head through here. Okay, and we're definitely going to get Night Stalker going. And let's see, do we have a camouflage? Nobody dropped a camouflage yet. Okay, not a problem. And now we will sneak up on her, or she will sneak up on us. I'm not sure which. And because we can push people around with our pokey piercy attacks, we're definitely going to go for that. And we can sneak up on her and go for a backstab, which is the entire point of our abilities here, is that we definitely want to sneak up on enemies. And you can see there that Frostspike definitely is useful versus the Golden Ladies and also everybody else in here except the large ladies. Okay, so our dress is always having some issues here, it looks like, but that's not too bad of an issue. Okay, we got 16 minutes before we gotta head in and get potatoes. Okay, sorry for all the constant updates here on time. So now here versus the Berserker, you wanted to be doing Blood Pierce, but as you see, we have no access to Blood Pierce except Bloodshot. I mean, it's whatever, but we can definitely go for a little bit more damage, and we can go for some stun ability here, and let's go. Let's see how we do. Now it's Backstab Bonanza here, and if we miss the backstab, it's going to be really, really problematic. Now let's see what yep, as you can see there, the Lightning Barrage does almost no damage to him compared to our Blood Veil. But our weapon does pretty good damage, and we're almost got him stunned, which will give us a free backstab, which is great. And as you see there, the piercing attacks definitely help us put him down easily. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, and where is he? Oh boy. There we go. So you can see there that one hit definitely is a problem, but we can launch, which will give us a chance to heal, maybe. We'll go for another launch when he gets up. Oh, okay. There we go. And backstab. There we go. Okay. I'm getting nervous. Getting real nervous here. Let's go for a poke. Let's go for a heal. Okay. And we are still in the one-shot territory here, as we are not all the way up. We'll go for a little more damage there. Oh boy. Okay. Backstab. Okay. There we go. Okay. And we'll go for a stun weapon. There we go. I'll get some pokes here. 1, 2. As long as he doesn't do his blood mist attack, we should be okay. Okay. And where's that backstab? There we go. And his baseball bat swing will absolutely put us down. So that's very, very problematic. Okay. It's like one more attack and he'll be stunned. Okay, one more attack after this one. Okay. And here we go. There we go. And he's stunned, so let's go for a final backstab. And that's the Berserker. Very, very good. Okay. We got hit once, so that's definitely good that we put him down easily there, and it was only a one-shot fight. Now we will definitely want Queenslayer, but it's not that important at this point. We got about 13 more minutes, so let's see how far we can get here, and hopefully we can get to the next missile before we have to say goodbye. Okay, so we'll go for this, and we'll go for lightning weapon. Now remember, we don't need to do the invasion. Oh, come on. How did those miss? Okay, we'll wait for them to move away from each other. And we'll go for a parry here, and this should kill. There we go. Very, very good. Okay. And her, we'll go for the same thing here. We'll go for spikes. Now, since we are doing light damage, we have a really, really good ability there to do distance damage, so that's really great. Now you see that we approach every single one of these enemies with care and caution. We don't want to get too crazy and get too caught out on any one endeavor here, as it can be the end of us very, very quickly. And as I'm sure most of you know who've run the Cathedral before, it's an exceptionally rough place. But if you know what you're doing, it can. You see here that it can absolutely be not exactly a pushover, but you can definitely stand a chance to the point that you know you have the ability to engage every single encounter with confidence and be able to wreck the enemies. Okay, and there she's going to come over here. And those slashes, I have not exactly mastered the opening window there for doing a parry, so I always dodge those. However, these fine ladies, you can parry these pretty easily. Okay, 1747 is a pretty good damage ability there on a backstab versus backstab, or what is that? A parry attack. So that's why also we're going with the prayer shawl. Now you could go with the GXH salt and level this one up, but it won't have the light and dark value that the prayer shawl does have. So in the first run through of the game, they give you a lot of tools that you can use throughout your run in order to mitigate almost every single encounter. But you have to really, really struggle to get to each of those points. Okay, and dodge. Okay, and we'll poke her and maybe get a backstab. There we go. So I do appreciate that in the game, that the game developers, actually Bandai, they put enough in each of the levels that you can get through each area pretty easily, pretty quickly, and effectively. Okay, so let's go ahead and head on over here, and we head up this way. And how are we doing on time here? We got about 10 minutes left. Okay, so we'll definitely put spikes on her. Okay, and oops, and we'll go for a backstab here, and refill some of that ichor. Now, our backstabs and our parries and such are just as good as doing a spike damage or the other things, but we definitely need to be careful about when we pick up different backstabs and such. So it's important, as you see there, we did 1747. I mean, that's really, really good damage, but we want to be doing more backstabs, as it gets us a whole lot of ichor back, and allows us the ability to engage the enemies from a distance. There we go. Okay, and the nice thing is that she's gone now. We can go for Night Stalker, and we mastered Frostspike. Okay, that's very, very good. I wish I didn't use Night Stalker just yet. Okay, but we now can switch back to Dark Seeker. Okay, and we'll go for a launch. There we go. And as you see, we definitely have the tools listed that would definitely help us to get through the Cathedral fairly easily, in a sense. You know, it's not easy by any means, but we definitely have the ability to push our way through here kind of uninhibited. Okay, there's that lady. And we come over here, and we can pick up this missile here, just so we can have it. I mean, it's right here. There's no reason not to. Okay, and we finally made it to the missile, and I think we're ahead of schedule. Let's see here. Yeah, we got about 8 minutes left, but I think we're let's see. I think we're going to call it here, and the next time we will pick up here, and we will head into the successor fight, and we'll head on there. So as you see, we took one death from the stupid invasion, and that's why the invasions aren't really necessary to run. But now that we can switch back to Darkseeker, we can put Sanguine Roar up here. We can get rid of this. We can get rid of this, as we're definitely going to be running the Cerulean Spear. Now we have Dark Impulse, so when we get focused, Sanguine Roar will do 30% more damage. And let's check out our Blood Veils here. So we could probably go for the Queenslayer Claw when we get to the successor fight, as that has more dark damage. But right now we're going to stick with Pierce, since everybody is weak to Pierce. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I hope you all learned something maybe about the Cathedral and how you should be kind of running it on your first playthrough. If you don't have the Cerulean Spear, the other thing that you would have for Pierce would be probably the Sunset Halberd. Yeah, I would say probably the Sunset Halberd, as it's as it has that, but it has this attack for a knockdown, and it has that attack, but on a second attack it has a bunch of slashing abilities, and so you could be doing slash, but you definitely want to be doing pierce. So I would say probably, well, I guess you could go for the Assassin Sickle, as it will do this, and then that is a piercing attack, the second attack. And it has ice built into the weapon itself. So versus the big ladies, you definitely would want to be going for a bunch of backstabs. But the Cerulean Spear has a double pierce attack at the out front there. So I would definitely recommend going for the Cerulean Spear if you have access to it, as it is kind of the ultimate weapon for the Cathedral at this point. So okay, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.